The Bills are linked to a big-time player who could slot perfectly into this Bobby Babich and Sean McDermott defense, so let's talk about it all right here. Hello everybody, welcome to Bills Digest. I am your host, Anthony Senicar, and it is off-season time, so you know what that means. More and more free agency news, more and more trade rumors, and tons of draft coverage, and we got you guys all covered right here at Bills Digest. There's only one issue with that. 72% of you guys who are watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. Subscribe, join the army here at Bills Digest because we got you guys covered all offseason for all your latest Bills news. And like I was saying, guys, the Bills are linked to another big-time player in free agency, that being someone who will slot perfectly on the opposite side of Christian Benford, who the Bills have been linked to before in the draft of 2021. But now, as a free agent, the Bills are heavily linked to this guy, and that is being Asante Samuel Jr. The Buffalo Bills are eyeing Asante Samuel Jr., the top-ranked free agent cornerback, as a potential fit for the defense. Samuel Jr. previously played with the Chargers, had an injury that hindered his 2024 season, where he only played 4 games. Despite this setback, he's still recognized for his zone coverage skills and overall defensive instincts. And what do the Bills run? A ton of zone coverage. So I think Samuel will slot perfectly opposite of Christian Benford. The Bills did let Rasul Douglas walk. He's still a free agent who is very, very good at zone, but he's on the opposite side of 30, not aging too gracefully, whereas Asante Samuel Jr. is that of only 25 years old, one of the better zone coverage corners in the league, and someone who will understand Sean McDermott's system and could possibly develop into one of the best zone coverage corners in the league opposite of Christian Benford. I mean, obviously, looking at his 2024 season stats, the guy was hurt, so you can't take it for too much. He only played 4 games, 13 tackles, and 2 passes defended. In his career, 6 interceptions, 176 tackles, and 37 passes defended. A former first-round pick for the LA Chargers, someone the Bills were linked to in that 2021 draft. There was heavy rumors that the Bills would try and take him. Chargers jump up, take him, and the Bills are stuck without a corner. End up taking Kaiir Elam the next year, and we saw how that ended up. But I think Samuel is going to be a very good fit in this defense if he does sign with the Bills. Looking at the PFF grade, obviously, again, only played 4 games, so you can't really get too much from that. But I want to show you is that career PFF grade on your right-hand side of your screen. If you take a look at that, it is a slow progress of getting better, and then obviously got hurt, but was still playing at a very good levels in those 4 games played. And again, just someone who I think Sean McDermott, who was quote-unquote a cornerback whisperer. I mean, he made a old Josh Norman look like a good corner. He made Levi Wallace look like a very good corner who left and got paid. He made Dane Jackson look like a very good corner who left, got paid, and is somehow back. Christian Benford, a former 6th-round pick, is now arguably one of the best corners in the league. And the list just keeps on going and going and going. If we not remember, Taron Johnson, who was a later pick, is one of the best slot corners in the league. There's another guy, pardon me, but I cannot remember his name. He did come from the Browns. He was one of the better corners on the Bills defense. Left, was nowhere, came back, and still looked very good. Again, the Bills have a history, and Sean McDermott has a history of getting zone corners, putting them in the system, and they go flawlessly in the system. Obviously, the only blemish is that of Kaiir Elam, but everybody else in the system has done very, very good. And with the history of Asante Samuel Jr. being one of the better corners in the league, I think this is only an opportunity for him to grow and get better. He is not going to be up against the number 1 receiver week in and week out because you still got Christian Benford on the other side, who is still one of the better corners in the league. But when you got a 2-headed monster of Asante Samuel Jr. on one side, you got Christian Benford on the other side, you got Jamarcus Ingram or Dane Jackson, who just re-signed, behind them. You got very, very good corner depth. You can still go out and get a corner in the later rounds. Have a battle between Jamarcus Ingram, Dane Jackson, and the rookie for that 3rd corner slot. Again, you still got Taron Johnson in the slot. And then as well as that, you still got Cam Lewis, who can rotate in and out. And then the Bills secondary, which is looking like one of the weaknesses right now with this Asante Samuel Jr. signing, makes it look like a defense or a secondary that has room to grow, get better, still very young. When you got Asante Samuel, 25 years old if he signs, you got Christian Benford, who I believe is about 23, 24. You got Cole Bishop, who's still very young. You got DeMar Hamlin, who's still about 26, 27. You got Jamarcus Ingram, who again is only a second-year player. Dane Jackson, who again I believe is like 28, 29. Taylor Rapp is going to be the veteran of that defense, I think, at 28 years old. So again, going from the defense the year past where you got an older Josh Norman, you got an older Trey White, you got an older Michael Hyde, you got an older Jordan Poyer. You get rid of the old, you bring in the new, you let them develop in the system, you build around your cornerstone corner in Christian Benford, and you get him a superstar or potential superstar on the other side with Asante Samuel Jr. You had Rasul Douglas come in, looked very good, got older, kind of after the trade, looked really, really good. Looked like, hey, you know what? We get rid of Trey White. We still got Rasul, and Benford can still step up. Benford does take that next step, becomes one of the better corners in the league. Rasul, kind of older, got absolutely abused in the playoffs. I think it's time to move on, bring in Asante Samuel Jr., pay the money that he's worth, and get someone on the opposite side to go. And if you want to, develop a third string corner that, again, if Asante Samuel's on a 2 or 3 year contract, kind of get him into his 28, 29, get him there, have him for his 3 years, get this corner in now, have him develop. And again, at the end of the rookie contract, it's a 4-year contract. On his 4th year, he'll become a full-time starter. If he shows flashes in that 3rd year, sign him for a cheap long-term deal at Asante Samuel Jr. walk. Then you have Benford and whoever you draft this season. Lots of moving parts that could work out very, very good for this defense. I mean, and money-wise, obviously, the cornerback market is all over the place. You got Derek Stingley Jr., who just got a big-time contract. Benford still has to sign a contract. Sauce Gardner still has to sign a contract. But I think $11 million for Asante Samuel Jr. for a 1B corner for $10 million is still very good. I think not a 4-year contract, but I think a 3-year at maybe 12, I would pull the trigger. You get him, you get Benford, both very, very zone coverage corners. Guys who can still develop in man coverage and give the Bills flexibility with this defense, because it seems as though getting the hiring of the new corners coach or cornerback coach, you got Bobby Babich, who blitzes a lot more than Sean McDermott. I think the Bills are developing this defense, giving it more flexibility, not being that bend-don't-break defense, having the opportunity to blitz more, having more man coverage opportunities, and kind of having flexibility all over the place, because as we saw this past year, the overcorrection of a passing-heavy offense is now coming back to normal, and you're seeing running backs get paid, like Saquon Barkley, like James Cook, who wants more money. You got Derrick Henry still making good money. You got McCaffrey making good money. Usually it was just the upper tier with McCaffrey and Barkley, but now Jimbo wants money, and a lot of these younger guys are going to get paid. I mean, Chuba Hubbard, who is not a proven Pro Bowler or a proven starter, still got about $10 million a year. So again, it is overcorrecting. The running backs are coming back, so you're going to have to be able to blitz. You're going to have to need bigger D linemen, and if you can get 2 outside cornerstone pieces with Benford locked up long-term if you can, Asante Samuel for 3 or 4 years, I think you can kind of focus on the interior defensive line. You can focus on the linebackers because Milano, again, is on the older side. You got a cornerstone in TB, but you still have Milano who's getting older, and you still got the safeties with Cole Bishop, who's going to keep developing. Taylor Rapp still there for 2 years, and DeMar Hamlin with a 1-year contract. I think this Asante Samuel signing would kind of put a bow on the on the corners, and you can go out and use your draft assets for a beefier, bulkier D-line and more pass rushers, as Von Miller was cut. But let me know your thoughts below, guys. Do you guys think the Bills should target Asante Samuel Jr., or do you think they should go look at the draft and see what's available with that 1st round or 2nd round pick? I personally think if you can get the money to work with Asante Samuel Jr. on a 3 or 4 year contract, I think you bring him in. He's still 25 years old, so plenty of room to develop. Guy who is very good at zone, and I think will mesh perfectly with Bobby Babich and Sean McDermott's zone coverage defense. But as always, like I said, leave your comments below. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. And as always, please like and subscribe. We're on the road to 200 or 300 subscribers here at Bills Digest, and every little bit helps. And like I've been saying, it is off-season time, so we got you guys covered for all your latest off-season news here at Bills Digest. So subscribe and stay in touch. And as I always say, guys, go Bills.